Alright, I know what you're thinking. What the hell has the Milky Bar kid got to tell me about independence? Well, the jokes are on me. Anyway, so my terrible joke. So my name is Matt, and I'm doing a PhD on how social media is changing the way we commemorate fallen soldiers, which is not a very funny subject, to be honest. But one thing for sure, Facebook is changing relationships. We all know breakups are never easy on Facebook, especially for England and Scotland. All of England and Scotland's Facebook friends know that things are a bit shaky between them at the moment. And Ireland's been sending a lot of private messages on Facebook to Scotland. Sort of saying things like, sure, just be honest with her. You've been stringing her along for long enough. Just tell her you never loved her. That's what I did. Look at me now. See how that worked out? But the thing is, Scotland knows that if it breaks up with England, it's going to have to change its Facebook status from it's complicated to single. And then the whole world will know. All of a sudden, friends Scotland didn't even know they had will start showing up. Like the Faroe Islands, they'll just start like putting comments like, "Are you okay, Scotland? Do you need a hug?" And Scotland will probably just comment back going, "Who the fuck are you?" Sorry, guys. Losing my train of thought here. So what about fallen soldiers anyway? On social media in an independent Scotland, that's a bit of a weird question, but William Wallace is a good example. As you can imagine, William Wallace he's pretty psyched about this referendum, and he's been putting a lot of Facebook posts on Alex Salmond's page saying things like, "Don't fuck it up. Do you know what I went through for this?" You know, he's kind of really psyched, and you're probably thinking, "You stupid fanny, William Wallace can't Facebook. He's dead." But that's where you're wrong, because William Wallace is the Chuck Norris of the afterlife. And he's Facebooking from the grave, right? And if you don't vote yes in this referendum, he will Facebook stalk you and your family, and he'll get you in the afterlife. So just bear that in mind. I think that's what Alex Salmond needs to do to win this referendum. He needs to start retweeting and sharing William Wallace's Facebook status, not only to instill fear, like the Better Together campaign seemed to like doing, but kind of geeze up with a bit more patriotism, we fought for this, kind of get that real enthusiasm behind the campaign. And I think that, however, we fought for this is not really a good phrase for Northern Ireland, which is where I came from. It doesn't work so well there. Instead of fighting England, we're too busy fighting each other over really important things like flags. Or flags, as we like to say, we call them flags. And can you imagine if Belfast hosted the Commonwealth Games? We'd need flag security. And it'd be really bad for Canada, right? Because Canada's got a white and red flag, right? And be going through the flag security. And they'd be like, "What colour's that flag?" And Canadians would be like, "It's just red and white." "Are you sure? Is there any blue on that? Red, white and blue?" "Sure." So I have to make sure there's no blue stains on the flags. And they'd be alright to get through. So I'm not sure Commonwealth Games really work in Belfast like it would in Glasgow. But anyway, I was kind of thinking about Northern Ireland and Scotland, and we have a special relationship. Is there any Northern Irish people here today, just incidentally? Well, that kind of puts that one to bed. But anyway, they call us the Ulster Scots, and I was kind of thinking, what is it that makes us so, close? What have we got in common? And there's three things I could think of. Sectarianism, Snow Patrol, and Buckfast. And that's all you need to be an independent country. That's like a survival kit. But first of all, if you've got sectarianism, you don't need a foreign policy or a military. You'll have all the war you need in your own backyard. Perfect. They'll be really busy, those military guys. Second of all, Buckfast is multi-purpose. Keeps the NHS and the police busy. Perfect. Nobody will be unemployed here. And then last of all, Snow Patrol could write your national anthem. I don't. You probably know, but Snow Patrol are kind of half from Dundee, half from Belfast, and we try to claim them for some reason, but they're quite dour, which kind of suits Scotland. So I was thinking, that song "Run." You could kind of rewrite the lyrics for Scottish national anthem. You could be like, Scotland, Scotland, as if we have a choice. Even though we're independent now, we still got England stuck to our arse, feck's sake. So you guys could learn a bit from us. You know, if you guys become independent, you never know, we might start calling you guys Northern England. Be a bit sore, wouldn't it? Yeah. But how do you think we feel? No. But anyway. One thing about Scotland, Northern Ireland, though, is that I kind of feel like Scotland takes some of the things Northern Ireland does and does it better. So sectarianism is a good example. Like, you know, our football teams are so shit at being sectarian that we have to support yours instead. So we're all back home. We're all wearing like Rangers and Celtic shirts. Nobody cares about Glentoran or Linfield. They're a bit shit, to be honest. And then you have all the flags in your football matches. Like, no wonder we love that shit. You know, it's just. So I think you guys have more orange marches in Glasgow a year than we do in Belfast, which is just crazy. It's great export, isn't it? And another thing though is that you know, Scotland's got a parliament. You know, it sounds really important, where you make really important decisions and, you know, proper politics. In Northern Ireland, we have an assembly, right? That sounds like somewhere primary school kids go. It's as if they're insinuating that our politicians are childish. Since when? But to be fair though, like it is, you know, it's a bit like an assembly. You know, there's primary school songs you used to sing at primary school, like you know, if I were a butterfly, I thank you Lord, forgive me. You know, those kind of songs, right? In Northern Ireland Assembly, it kind of is like that, but the lyrics are different. It's kind of more like, if I were a killer bee, I'd sting you up the arse, Jerry Adams. Or if I were a centipede, I'd stamp all over your face, Ian Paisley. Or Peter Robinson, actually, to be contemporary. Another thing too is stadiums, right? You guys have got like, you're dripping in stadiums. You've just got that new Hydro. It's lovely. I was in it the other night, actually. It's great. You know, you've got Ibrox, you've got Celtic Park. You know, you've got loads of stadiums, right? Northern Ireland was going to get a stadium, and this is really was an exciting prospect. But unfortunately, the Assembly, being childish, couldn't decide whether to build it in the Catholic or the Protestant side of the city. So we didn't get our stadium. So it's feeling a bit bitter over here, you know, seeing all the stadiums Glasgow has. And the kind of thing I wanted to point I wanted to make about that was, sorry, I've kind of forgotten what I was going to say. Is instead of getting a stadium, right, we got a Titanic Centre or a Titanic Museum. And it seems Belfast has kind of got an obsession with commemorating the Titanic, and you kind of wonder why it is. I think it's so that they can like sweep the Troubles under the carpet. It's like, Troubles? What's that? Sure, look at this big beautiful boat over here. Isn't she lovely? Aye, the Troubles never happened. Sure, it's just kind of like all the focus is on the Titanic, and that's like the pride and glory of our city now, that we built a sinking ship. Like, well done, Belfast. But right in Scotland, there's this wee place called Falkirk, right? And you guys have got a Falkirk wheel, and that elevates boats. Talk about putting Belfast to shame. If Falkirk can do it better. Anyway, when I think about the UK, I kind of think of it as a bit of a dysfunctional family. So like England's a bit like the mum and dad, and the Scotland and Northern Ireland would be like the children. And I was kind of thinking, like, they kind of compare them. So can you imagine like Prince Philip and the Queen having a wee discussion about Northern Ireland and Scotland? The Queen would be like, that's Scotland, he's so brutish and flatulent. Yes, dear, but he's got oil and stadiums and a good home for our nukes. Yes, I suppose he's done pretty well for himself. And Northern Ireland, all that fighting, so brutish. Can't we send him to live with Uncle Ireland? I'm afraid not, my dear. Uncle Ireland is always drunk. He's practically drowned his economy in drink. It's a terrible influence. Suppose you're right. Suppose we'll have to keep him. So it's like, you know, we're the almost sometimes like we're the runt in the litter that nobody wants. So that's a bit harsh. I have kind of been putting Northern Ireland down a bit too much. Actually, to be honest, it's a really beautiful place, and you should all come and visit. And you know, if you've got independence or whatever, maybe you can come back to the UK, go to Northern Ireland. I don't know. How weird would that be? But there's one thing I think that Northern Ireland has over Scotland, and that's engineering. Now I know the Titanic sunk, but it was a really like beautiful, functional ship, right? And we built it in 3 years. 3 years to build the Titanic, right? And I'm pretty sure that come next September, if you guys vote no in the referendum, I'm pretty sure that Scotland will still become an independent nation before Edinburgh gets trams. Anyway, thank you very much. You guys have been great. I've been Matt. And have a great night. Northern England, good night.